Yeah, come on! Welcome to the Come On Show with Southside Steve.
Good morning and welcome to the Exit Wealth Studios right here in lovely Alpharetta, Georgia with me, Southside Steve, of course, and Jeff Cole, my co-host, as we do a show for you. It is a 4-hour Atlanta radio show done in 30 minutes live without a net, and we dig it.
Oh, yeah, and actually, I'll go and tease track 13 today because it has a connection to where I lifted Live Without a Net from.
Okay, there you go.
It's part of our tagline, the Come On Show, a 4-hour Atlanta radio show in 30 minutes, live without a net. That part comes from something that will be related to track 13 today because there was a passing of someone in the music business, very influential, but not known.
Okay.
A behind the scenes guy that I'm very, very much into, and you are too. You just don't know it.
I just don't know it. I like what I don't know when I don't know it.
Well, the Doc of Rock is here to teach you big time today. Big Doc of Rock lesson for today's track 13.
All right, so stick around to the end of the show. Hell, it'll be in less than 30 minutes, and you'll be educated along with myself by the Doc of Rock, Jeff Cole. Great title. I dig it. I also dig, and this is going to sound bad as a family man, but I woke up alone, all alone, in a house all alone. And I feel very peaceful right now.
I know exactly how you feel because you probably haven't had that in 8 years.
At least.
I mean, maybe Father's Day and your birthday are the days that you get to kind of have completely off. Maybe your wife takes care of the kids, gets up early, and lets you sleep in. For me, when my kid was little, it was my birthday and Father's Day. That was it.
Ooh. Yeah, this is spring break. And we're doing a staycation, and all of their friends, the whole neighborhood is quiet. Everybody's at the beach. I keep seeing some people went, like we've got a lot of friend groups that go on vacation together where it's like 6 families in a house, and they're doing that whole thing. And that's a little crazy. I do it. We do that with family on both sides. But for me, the wife's like, hey, I'm going to go over to my best friend that she grew up with. She's known her since she moved here. From South Carolina in the 3rd grade, and she lives just north of us. And her kids, you know, they're crazy, and she's got 3 boys, which is tough. And her husband's out of town, so they went over there for, you know, wine, cooking, and look at this. It's stressful for both of them until they go to bed.
That's two wives and 5 little boys.
You got it.
Wow.
So it's really not a break for Amanda and Mallory, but it is for me.
Yeah.
So I stayed home. I literally ignored a couple of phone calls, and I said, you know, I don't want to do anything. I did not have a cocktail because I don't drink alone. I'm a social drinker. So I watched a movie. Nobody 2
with Bob Odenkirk.
Yes.
Oh, that's the.
I've never seen it.
Oh well, did you see the first one?
No.
It seems like they kind of tried to do with him what they did with Liam Neeson. Is all of a sudden because Bob Odenkirk's more of a comedian, not an action star.
Right.
But we were going to have the producer of that movie on the Come On Show last week.
I know. I cannot believe that we missed it because that producer was in town. I got the email, passed it along to you, and it just didn't work out with our schedules.
Yeah. And I didn't realize he was a big-time producer. So apparently him and Bob Odenkirk have a production company, and they produced the Nobody series.
Wow.
And a bunch of other things, too. So,
well, the Nobody series was good. I enjoyed it. I kind of dug the fact that he just beats everybody to a pulp. And
of course, he was Better Call Saul. He was Saul Goodman in the Breaking Bad series. And my favorite show of his was Mr. Show. Did you watch that on HBO in the mid to late 90s?
No.
It was an HBO sketch comedy show.
Wow.
Bob Odenkirk and David Cross.
Okay.
And it was, to me, the best sketch show ever.
I had never seen him until he played the role of Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
Or came in as Saul in that series.
In Breaking Bad, yeah.
Breaking Bad. It's the first time I'd seen him. So, yeah, I'm not hip to everybody, but I was interested, and I kept looking at it. And there was a point where I almost turned it off on, what am I watching? And then I stayed with it, and it got better and better.
Okay.
So I watched the entire thing. Then I look at my watch, and I'm like, because my phone was away from me, and I'm like, oh, damn, 10:30. Let me tune in, and I got to catch the last half of the final four.
Final two.
Final two, technically, yeah. And saw, and I was cheering for UConn just because of what they had done. I have nothing in with either team. But in sports yesterday, we had Jack Sugar on, and he said, bet all your money on Michigan.
Mm-hmm. And he was right.
I mean, it's not a hard call, but he called it 3 weeks ago, said that Michigan would be in the final two for sure. He didn't say they would win, but now they did. So that was my night. I woke up this morning. I made myself breakfast. I had 2 cups of coffee, and I vacuumed, and I wiped down all the tables and put everything where it's supposed to go. Back in the day, my loft was always set up for date night, and I had various magazines when magazines were still something you purchased, and some people still do. I'm not boo-hooing them, but I would line up the 3 or 4 that made sense on the coffee table.
Would they be current magazines?
Yeah.
They wouldn't be 5 months behind like the dentist's office?
I had subscriptions. They were coming. So I was wasting a lot of money on stupid. I was probably giving $100 a month just to magazines, but I had disposable income. I didn't care. It was set up for dating, everything. And I looked this morning and I said, oh, my God, I'm setting this house up for dating. I'm like, well, maybe it might be good to date my wife again. But all I had to organize was the Legos. Before they left, they were halfway through a build. So I put the piles in neat little piles and laid everything out. And that's the only thing out in the entire house. So I'm feeling pretty good this morning. I think a lot of people's kids are on spring break.
Yeah, the main counties in the metro area are off this week.
Yeah, and it is one of those things. They get break. Summer's coming. It's going to knock on our door before we know it. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like I thought about: do I feel guilty if I talk to my in-laws? They might say, "Yeah, you should feel a little guilty that you're not taking your kids to the beach or doing this or that." But then I talked to my mother. Who do you call when you're all alone? You call your mom. Mm-hmm. And I called her, and we just had a good conversation. She didn't bag on anybody, which I think the other side of the family thinks she does, but she didn't. And it was difficult with me and Mom, and she's probably watching. She's a big fan, but she'll tell you growing up, she played me pretty tight. My dad played me more open, especially the last 20 years, and understood what I was doing, where I was living, the dream I was chasing. My mom's like, pick your fence, get married, start having kids mid-20s. If you're not, you're gay.
That's like what she did to your father. Mm-hmm. She made him kind of settle down and give up the creative side of his.
He gave it all up. He lost out on being the art director of Sky Magazine in its infancy and Southern Living. And he gave that up. And he got into printing. The world passed him by, and the rest is history. With me, I'm doing radio, and I'm going to get into some local radio here in Steve MZ. We've got some changes. It is a tough career. Jeff Cole, my co-host, was probably one of the best weekenders.
Oh, please, come on, stop. Why would you say that?
I'll say that. I'll say that because you were hireable. Not everybody is. You did it for a station that a lot of people weren't aware of, 105.7. It was a small signal, but we owned it in Cumulus, and it was a great place.
Clear Channel.
Clear Channel, sorry. I forget all my companies. But we owned it at Clear Channel, and you got a chance to, figure it out, and you did. Mm-hmm. And then you were a weekender at 96 Rock. Mm-hmm. And then you were on the air. You were the last employee at 96 Rock. All full-timers had been cut. Everybody had been cut before the switch to alternative Project 961. You were the last voice on 96 Rock before Project started at 6 a.m. on whatever date that was.
That's correct. I was the last jock. It was November of 2006.
There you go. Then you go from there to the Bull. Mm-hmm. And that's a brand new country station,
which is still around.
Yeah,
like it's still pretty big station here.
I think I like the Bull better than Real Country 101.5. I liked it when it was Kicks, but I think I liked Dallas with Cadillac more than Kincaid. And then you and I worked with Cadillac until he passed. God bless. Definitely had some demons. But those demons were protected for many years. And but there are some people out there getting it done. I just think I like the programming, the music better for sure on the Bull. And then you left there and you went to the River. Mm-hmm. And you were on the River for about 5 years. So as a weekender, that's quite, if you have the mic flags like NFL guys that have bounced on teams or baseball guys have the helmets or the hats, you've got a few mic covers.
I've got swag. Actually, I made the swag for all set stations too. So I have a lot of it.
Who knew that? So that's opposite of me, and my career was 2 long stints, mornings with 3 different morning shows, 1 year of country, and I was always a rock guy. But alternative always played a stick in the spokes for me. Keep in mind, I love new wave, and I think you do too, which is 80s air quote alternative. But once the alternative really kicked in, the 90s music, I like some of it, not most of it. And it just wasn't my cup of tea. It's not what I was listening into in the car. It's not what got me off. It's not what was in my ears when I was riding a Harley. It just wasn't me. So it also wasn't me on a talent level. I just didn't dig the humor based around that music. And it replaced my job once and 2 times a lady, destroying 96 Rock and Rock 100.5. Not bitter. It's just a history lesson. And I'll be the first to say, you got to embrace change. You have to. Change is coming. Sometimes change is a good thing. And I'm okay with it. And I think everything has a reason for happening. Not sure on this one, other than you and I had 2.5 years together on an independent station, Fox FM, to form what we now have as the Come On Show. And now, coming up next, we will get into the color nationally and locally. Steve MZ is brought to you by great people. First, Smalls Sliders. Love these guys. We now have a date. We have a new commercial out that we will put on LinkedIn and all over socials announcing that the grand opening is April 14th. I don't have a time yet. I will get the time, but Jeff and I will be broadcasting live from that location on Windy Hill just before Cobb Parkway. And we want you to join us. Small Sliders, this is the first of this group that's going to open 26 locations across Georgia. The next 4 are coming to Middle Georgia. Enjoy this location in Marietta, and we'll see you there. And also, because we're having a little bit of fun, I want to throw my boy David Markwell in there with the long beard and the lovely bald head. He's a deep thinker. He's a cool dude. And if you're fractured, cracked, or broken, he'll fix you. And he will talk to you. And he has 8 counselors that work under him, all in different specialties. And it's called Ridgeline Counseling. But for him, that's who I want you to go to, because he's going to place you or take you. And this is where you're going to get the Yeah, Come On deal. And it's a real thing. So go to markwelltherapy.com and ask for the YC deal. CMC. Well, Jeff, there's been a change in the lineup over there at old 99X.
Oh, speak of the devil. Speaking of, we were just talking about.
We just were. Who knew that we were just going to talk about?
We are an Atlanta radio show done in 30 minutes, live without a net. So we like to have some local stories. So we got local Steve MZ.
This is local Steve MZ. 3 years after rejoining the rebooted 99X alternative rock station, which replaced Rock 100.5. And at the time, it was Axel and Southside. And it was, oh, God, who was our other, our midday girl?
Lindsay.
Lindsay. God, I just went blank. We had Lindsay at middays. And then afternoons, I know we had the Heater, Jackson Heaton. And I think we had a couple other people, in the end that were on. And you could almost see they're either going to hire and really jump on this, swap it, or kill it. And they swapped it with 99X. And keep in mind, 14 years prior, in 2008, it was 99X on that signal. The Burt Show had left that signal, which is 100.5, and they took 99.7, which was the 99X you listened to in the 90s.
Which was the much stronger signal.
Much stronger. And that was part of Burt's deal. He's like, if I beat up on Star 94, Steve and Vicky and Tom Sullivan, who's a good friend, and I beat them for like 4 books straight, his deal was get the bigger stick. And he got it. And once he got it, that's when they're like, do we want to put 99X down here? Okay, we do. So for a year, it was a lot of different people on there. Rob Jenner, Tim Andrews. I think that's when even Seabass.
English Nick
might have been on it.
Or he did rock. He did do rock for a while?
Yeah, he did rock for a while, but I think he was on that too. And Seabass and a few others. Then all of a sudden they got the idea to crush it, make Rock 100.5. They keep Tim Andrews. They kept Seabass. Mark Owens came from Q100 over to us to run the board. And we started the regular guys in 2008 on that signal. But Leslie has decided, here it is 3 years into it, it's Barnes Live from the studio that I worked in. and everybody else is calling in. Leslie lives in Nashville. Jimmy Barron lives locally, but he's got a really promising and has had a successful real estate career.
Yeah. So he would just kind of show up every now and then. They were all three together very often.
No, I think there were events where all three were together if Leslie came into town. But she's over at CMT, and she's decided to hang it up. She's done. And this is reporting Rodney Ho, Atlanta Journal. Leslie Fram departs Morning X show at 99X after 3 years. She is gone.
Well, I mean, she's had quite a run. I mean, she's one of the creators of 99X, which influenced alternative music over the industry. I mean, every band from the 90s, like, you get on Leslie's good side and she plays one of your records, you're going to make it.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're right.
She
and
was
look
very
at
influential, not just in radio, but in music.
Yeah, and she was the program director over there.
Yeah.
So she is doing mornings and being the program director. So every band, every producer came through her. So she built lots of relationships, you know. And Jimmy, people don't realize the producer had one of the best black books, so to speak, in the marketplace.
And one of the best lines in the movie Risky Business.
Oh, I love that.
You know?
I love Risky Business. And when I knew that Jimmy was in that movie, I was like, Jimmy, your stock just went up a lot.
Yeah.
And
hey, Joel, this is my cousin Ruben. Yeah, he's in from wherever. Can you get him in tonight?
Can you get him in? And it's, of course, when Tom Cruise was running the brothel
in his house.
out of the house. I'm looking up the Atlanta Journal right now just to see what all was said. I took a snapshot of it. I was reading some of the stuff. And by the way, I do pay to read the Atlanta Journal-Constitution.
Oh, you're paying the $1.99 a month or whatever it is?
I am. I just want to be loyal to my city.
Yeah, and we need those articles because we want to be local.
Yeah.
I let mine expire, so I need to hack in yours.
Well, as long as the show has got it. But I look at comment number 2, and it's basically, so you're going to bring Southside Steve back?
What is the public demanding a reformatting?
I don't know. If you did reformat it, I would say what would be fun, and tell me if this is possible, because you're more managerial material than I am. If you played, say you brought back a show, I'm not saying Larry Wax, who's very available. I'm definitely saying me and you. And Axel's not going to budge. He's happy at the River. So then you look at other people that we've worked with. Tim Andrews might come over if he's not locked in at WSB. And I'm just tossing it out there. He might come over with us. But you could formulate a morning show. And we could even do a bit with Seabass. He's on the Woody Show on the West Coast, and he's got his little buggy thing. He wants to come on our show. We should actually have Seabass on this week. And we could do a show and make it like, could it be rock from 6 a.m. to noon? And then from noon to midnight, it's 99X?
Okay.
Then Steve Craig, who's, the rock star over there. Everybody loves Steve. Matter of fact, he's got a golf tournament coming up that we want to participate in with Angel Flight. Steve Craig could start it off at noon and do the best show that 99X ever had, in my opinion, which was Retro Pleasure.
House of Retro Pleasure, yeah.
I love that show. And you could even get, like, Matt Jones, if he's willing to get on the mic back.
He still does
Tommy.
Organic X, doesn't he?
I think he does.
Yeah, I think he does Organic X. And it could be 99X on the weekends because they have their Resurrection Sunday. They have their Organic X. They could even do the club thing that Yvonne Monet used to do on Saturday nights. So weekends could be 99X, but weekdays, 6 to noon, a rock format. Doesn't have to be called Rock 100. You could call it, 100 Rock.
Well, no, you could just call it what it was, Rock 100.5.
Well, I was thinking if they wanted to change it. It could be like 96 Rock, but 100 Rock.
Well, both of these guys, 99X has only been on that signal for probably 5 or 6 years, 2 or 3 before we took it, and now 3 after. We did it for 14 years, so we've peed on it the most.
Well, this is what Album 88 did, because it became, I think, NPR during the day and then Album 88 at night. So they were able to do a split format. Why can't Cumulus do it?
I think if Doug Phillips is out there, or Brian, sorry, I called him Doug. That must be like his brother. I don't know where. You know what? There was a guy named Doug Phillips that worked in production, and I loved him. I invited him to my wedding. He was just a good dude. I said, I can give you 1 ticket, no date. But if Brian Phillips wanted to do that, it could be a win-win. It would be a way for that station to make a huge comeback.
Well, you have a problem, though. Where's Barnes go?
Oh, he can hit the road.
Oh, that's,
No, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Barnes wants to do something with Craig, and put those two together. I know you got a good afternoon guy over there.
Will Pendarvis.
Well, yeah,
He's a classic.
yeah, he's a good dude. I hear nothing but good things about him. I don't know him. So yeah, you could put Barnes with them. I don't know that I could work with Barnes, but it's got to be better than working with Larry. All right, coming up next, Politictainment. Before we get into politics, and God knows where Jeff is going to go with this today, it is brought to you by a great sponsor, one that I love, Rockin' Taco. Rockin' Taco is the bar off of Roswell Road, off Canton Street. Not Roswell Road, but it's almost Roswell Road. They kind of, they're close.
I consider it Roswell Road.
Yeah, I know a lot of people do. It's at the intersection of Canton and Roswell. It's the last bar on Canton Street. It's got a wonderful parking lot right next to it, and then there's a free parking lot below it. We are there. The next date for us is May 7th with Synchronicity, and we will have that lead singer on the show this week.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeff is going to challenge him with all things police knowledge.
Yeah. But
Synchronicity will be in the club, and we will be there on that Thursday, May 7th. Put that one on your calendar. And again, we will have an interview. So Rockin' Taco brings us whatever the hell Jeff's going to talk about. Please give me good political news.
Politictainment.
Well, it's definitely not good news for Iran. I mean,
is it Iran or Iran?
Iran.
Or
Iran.
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 I hear Iran.
The same thing, but they got until sundown tonight to make a deal. This was the Post yesterday, and I'm getting a little concerned. Like, Trump is fighting this war on Truth Social. Like, he's communicating through Truth Social. Did you see his Easter post?
No.
He was like cussing. He said to demanded at Tehran, "Open the effing strait, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell."
Well, I think he's getting aggressive, letting them know
Yes.
he's not playing. And I think when you're political or presidential, it doesn't come across. And here's my thing: the left can't go after him because just what's happened in these cities, these disastrous cities that welcome all crime and welcome illegals. That what they've done and the way they've stood in the road and the horrible things they've said to our police departments, it offends me to no end. So don't get on the president for cussing when you spit on police officers. I think there's a lot of acting crazy right now. I think our forefathers would be shocked. I think you go back to President Kennedy, he'd be shocked. Maybe Nixon. I don't know where the change came in. Reagan had a set of testicles, but he didn't talk the way Trump does. I personally don't have a problem with it because these people are animals. You killed 35,000 of your own people. Kiss my ass.
Well,
sorry, I just cussed.
Well, he's going after it, and tonight is the deadline. If they don't make a deal by 8:00 tonight, he says a whole civilization will die tonight. Never be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. So they want to make a ceasefire and open the Strait of Hormuz, and then they can work out the details. But Iran is like, they want us out of the Middle East. They want war restitution. They want us to pay for some of this damages. So I don't know what's going to happen. But if they don't do something tonight, like opening the strait, it's going to be hell to pay. He even says. But then he teases. This is so Trump. Then he teases. Maybe something revolutionary, wonderful can happen. Who knows?
Well, that's his way.
He's supposed to know.
Well,
what's going to happen, and no, he doesn't know what's going to happen because it's been a cluster F.
Well, the one thing I will say is the people and everybody are talking. There, Hegseth and a lot of others are just they're saying, "Hey, this is what's going to happen." I've always wondered, and I know you talk about it off air. We dabble in the world's business. And, you hope it's not for the dollar, hope it's not for that. Trump says we don't use this oil. It's being used by China. It's being used by Japan. It's being used by Europe. And he's like, and they're not coming to the table to help with this.
Yeah.
So it's not our oil. So there's not a play there. But knowing that these people wanted nuclear weapons, and here's the one thing nobody thought about. If they went nuclear, you ready for this scary fact? It's not just missiles. It's drones with small nuclear weapons.
Well, that's what we're afraid of, them being able to get the nukes drop further away than the Middle East.
If they run a drone through New York City and drop it, people will lose their effing minds.
Mm-hmm.
You thought September 11th was bad with 3,000 fatalities plus? Let a nuke get dropped in New York. Let one get dropped in Atlanta, Georgia, at the airport, the hub. Sorry to say, we're a transportation hub.
That would be World War III.
Yes. So what is he doing? He's seeing radicals that kill their own and have said death to America. You can't let that exist. You can't. So get on the right side. Sorry to talk over our thing, but it's just like I'm watching it and it's coming to a point. It's not even political anymore. It's just common sense. Am I wrong in finishing up? Tell me I'm wrong if I'm wrong.
Well, I just think the way it's, I watch a lot of people that are like, hey, no one wanted this war. Well, Trump didn't want this war a year ago.
No.
So why is he after it now? Are they using the nuclear things as a pretense to go take over Iran, just like we did with Iraq with the weapons of mass destruction, which ended up being fake?
I don't know. George Bush still gets to go to baseball games and wave. So I don't know. I liked Bush too. That's another guy I dug. Right now, we're going to have a little bit of fun with sports. And this guy is a giver. We're calling right now Skipper with Regal Nissan. He is the service manager. And currently, I'm driving a service vehicle because they're working on my Titan. Just running it through, and they're a great place. They have a great rental program at Regal Nissan. So make sure that you go there with your service. Again, if you drive a Nissan or you drive an Infiniti, why in the hell would you not go to what I know to be the greatest service center, regardless of what somebody else is telling you? Skipper runs it. He's a big sports guy. I'm the one that wanted Skipper to do this. I think he should do a sports show. He's got very interesting takes, and you hear about those when you're at the dealership. But this is definitely a little bit of a Regal Nissan commercial for me. When you go in there, Miguel is my tech. You ask for Skipper or Miguel, you get the Yeah Come On deal. But I am going to go in next week with the glasses.
And make a video?
Yeah, I'm going to make a video, and I'm going to walk right down the aisle. This is what I'm envisioning. And I'm going to let each tech introduce themselves and then end up in the office at the end of the row in Skipper's office and just talk about the Yeah Come On deal, which is buy 3 tires, get one for $1. And again, with a great rental program and brand new vehicles all over the lot, including the Ineos vehicles, which – they got the dealership for that, too, if you haven't seen that lovely vehicle. Deal with Skipper. Get that Yeah Come On deal. Times are too tough to be spending too much on service. Now on the line, enjoying a vacation. And I don't know why he's so giving, but he agreed to talk to us on vacation. It is Skipper with sports.
How y'all doing, guys?
Good, man. I gave you about the biggest damn intro I could do as I saw Jeff having a couple of issues calling you, but it gave me a chance just to talk about your staff. I'm going to go in there with the AI glasses and film them and let everybody kind of sell themselves for a second, because with your accessibility off the interstate right there on 400 and you're only up exit 7, it's only a 10-minute drive. To me, that's worth service. A lot of dealerships are so far off the interstate, you spend 20 minutes at red lights to get to them. And you guys have got the capability, the capacity. How many bays do you have in there?
We have 21.
21 bays. That's 21 cars that can be dealt with at once, and they've got the manpower to do it. The service center, Regal Nissan, since 1980, family-owned, 3 generations, and I know that Bo was a Marine. I know Holden was a Marine. Was their father a Marine, too? I don't know much about Bo's father.
That I am not sure, so I don't want to comment because I don't want to say the wrong thing.
No, but that's a good question. I've never asked him. I meet people. Sometimes I inquire about where you come from, and sometimes I don't, but I know that his father started it. So let's get busy with sports. I do know that Final Four happened, and it's over. Jeff, you put it the Final 2.
Well, yeah, it should be the Final 2, but I don't want to step on the NBA's or the NCAA.
See, this is why Jeff doesn't do sports. Right there was a perfect example of why he doesn't. So
NCAA.
So take it away, Skipper. The floor is yours.
Yeah, so Michigan took down UConn last night to win the championship. I know me and you discussed it. We had a little fun in the office. We all did our brackets, and no one picked Michigan, even though they were number 1 seed. So a little surprising to all of us, but they did a really great job taking that down. So Michigan, now your national championships of college basketball. And then you also, a couple other quick things. One, the Braves started out great on a 3-game losing streak right now. So really need them to get that figured out right now. Chris Sale had a rough night last night. The offense couldn't score any runs. We only got 2 runs last night. So hopefully it's just a little bit of those West Coast early season jitters, get it out of the way and then keep moving. But we have gone on a little bit losing streak, so keep an eye on that. Then you had the Atlanta Hawks last night, who are trying to fight to clinch a playoff berth, lost to the New York Knicks by 3 points. But the crazy part was CJ McCollum hit a half-court shot. The light turned red while one finger was still on the ball. Close as that could be. Banked it in, beautiful shot. But there's a chance we could play them in the first round, so that was a great playoff preview. Hawks played really well. The Knicks, on paper, should be better than the Hawks, but we kept it really close, played it tough all game. So I think Hawks, 1 more week left in the season, 3 more games. I think they're getting ready for that playoff run. And then probably the biggest news, I'm going to tell you, is that the Atlanta Dream traded for Angel Reese. I think even y'all know who that is.
The chick.
Is this WNBA?
Yeah, the one that always fighting.
Yeah. The one that's always fighting. Is it a boy or a girl?
With Caitlin Clark.
Oh.
This girl.
Okay.
Caitlin Clark and her were the two that got the WNBA get so much attention to it, and they actually just got their raise from their new agreement, and she just got traded to the Atlanta Dream, yesterday.
Really?
So that's a pretty big thing because she actually has the most followers on social media out of all WNBA players. So that's a pretty big thing for the Atlanta market because they're going to be trying to push her to try to drive that business in Atlanta for the Dream.
All right, I'm not against girls basketball. I'm all for it. And she was one of the ones that played rough against Caitlin Clark. And then there's a really pretty blonde girl that supposedly is really good, and she looks the most attractive out of the 3. I mean, no offense. If you're a female basketball star, you're not wearing heels. Chances are you're a little taller, your feet a little bigger, and you might be bigger than the man you're dating.
And pretty sweaty.
And they don't mind the sweat.
Neither do I.
You don't. I do. That's why Jeff could date in the WNBA. I cannot. But there you have it. Thank you so much, Skipper. And I want you to sign off yourself, baby, because you are a rock star. Thank you for coming in on vacation. You think we get you Thursday too, or what?
Yeah, I think we'll actually be able to make it Thursday.
Look at that. Maybe in studio, maybe out of studio. If you come in studio, I want you in Bermuda shorts or your shirt off with a nose coat. I just want to know that you are on vacation. It is Skipper. You want to sign out with a little Skipper and come on sports?
Yeah.
That's what I need, baby.
Yeah, this is Skipper, service manager at Regal Nissan, and come on sports. Woo! Have a great day, guys.
Later. Yeah, come on. Trying to get these guys where they do that and they start thinking a little more radio, and then I don't have to say crap.
Yeah, well, that's why we have the Sounders too. All right, so track 13. Let's do this quickly. This is a big one.
It is, and it's brought for you, and it's brought to you by North Atlanta Golf Carts. And we got a brand new commercial coming out with those guys. They've got 4 different brands on 2 different lots, and these guys they're like, look, we're the biggest, north of Atlanta and Georgia. But hey, if you are on the south side or live in a golf cart community or what have you, man, they drive to you, they pick it up, they service it, they can do anything. It's worth it. So don't think you got to buy local. Buy the best, buy the most affordable with the biggest variety of all golf carts. Again, 4 brands. Just ask for Craig Riddle. He's the man, and say, I need the come on deal, and then money will come off the price.
There you go.
All right, so we just lost Don Landy. Does that name ring a bell? Probably does not ring a bell to a lot of people. Don Landy.
No, I don't know Don Landy.
Don Landy was an audio engineer, studio engineer, most famously Van Halen.
Oh, I was going to say Leonard Skinner, maybe, but all right, Van Halen.
So Don Landy worked closely with Ted Templeman, who was the guy that basically discovered Van Halen, produced Van Halen. So that means he's the engineer. He's responsible for the sound of all these great Van Halen records.
Wow.
In fact, him and Eddie got really close. He's the one that built Eddie Van Halen's 5150 studio in 1983.
All right, that was awesome because that was a completely different sound for Van Halen.
Right. And they say, I've heard clips, that album 1984 was made by Eddie and Don Landy. They worked on it. I can't imagine what they were doing, but I read books about this. They worked on that 24/7, just those two all night long, all hours of the day. In fact, Don Landy was so close to it that he did not want to give it up. When they were like, hey, okay, it's time to turn in the record's done. They kept wanting to keep working on it. It's one of those things where it was never enough.
There's got to be something else we can do. So it was that big of a project.
And then, but prior to working with Van Halen, he worked with Ted Templeman. They did the Doobie Brothers. And Don Landy was the first to have his name on the record as credited on the record label. Ted Templeman insisted that. He said, because they worked so close together, it said produced by Ted Templeman, engineered by Don Landy. He was the first to credit the engineer on the label.
So that was huge.
That was pretty big. In fact, I think Don Landy even got points on some of these Van Halen records.
And it sounds like he should. And it sounds like even if he didn't, don't you think, Eddie, when you know that somebody's helped you that much, to these artists, give a little bit to these guys?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think he did have a piece of that. And then he went on to stick with working with Van Halen. When they parted ways with David Lee Roth, they also parted ways with Ted Templeman. So Don Landy worked on 5150 and OU 812.
Okay, under a new director, and that was somebody Sammy brought in.
Well, they didn't have Ted Templeman. They kind of self-produced with Don Landy, and then I believe after OU 812 he kind of retired.
Okay,
and then he didn't work it, but
right.
That was his claim to fame, basically being just a great studio engineer. So he's responsible for a lot of this Van Halen sound that we've known and loved over the years.
Well, there you go. I hated that guy died. Did he die of old age?
Yeah, just old age. He was 79.
That's not 79 too old.
And just died a few days ago. He also is the guy that walked over to wherever Quincy was recording Thriller, and Eddie laid down the solo to beat it. Eddie and Don went there. Don said was the one that set it up, and Eddie laid down 2 takes, and that was it.
Eddie said he was in and out. I've heard the interviews that it wasn't long.
Yeah, it was just him and Don Landy, and that's part of why it sounds like Eddie, is because Don Landy engineered the guitar solo.
Wow, that's the part that you never knew if that was true or not, and then it comes out that that whole great riff on "Beat It" was Eddie Van Halen. The only other one that confused me, and I've joked about it, Run DMC with Rockbox. When you're these guys don't really have any lead guitarist friends, and it's almost like the go-to was always Eddie. Yeah. I thought Eddie did that one too.
No, I don't know who's on that, but yeah, lost Don Landy. So I wanted to do track 13. One of his first hits that he worked on as an engineer was with Eric Burdon and the Animals.
Oh my God, you're going way back.
Yeah, that was late. That's how long he was around. It was late 60s. This is this will be track 13. Song about Vietnam soldiers. It is called Sky Pilot. I don't know how familiar with it.
I don't know if I've heard it unless it's been in a movie soundtrack.
It probably has been many times, but this will be one of Don Landy's first songs, and it has a great phasing effect that you can hear. That's kind of his work on this back in 1968 or 69. That'll be today's track 13. You can click the link to watch the video and hear the song Sky Pilot. Eric Burdon and the Animals in tribute to the late, great Don Landy on the Yeah Come On Show.